So good morning, everyone. I'm Trevor Deering. I am a research associate with Farming Smarter, and I manage our commercial innovation program. And that entails conducting contract research, so third-party, unbiased, contracted research with companies that are producing products and conducting, what was the term there? Product development. So we're really helping those companies find the best products that actually work, and we don't have a stake in that. We're just unbiased and helping them find the products that work that they can get to the farmers. So I love it. And we have Everett here. He's going to be helping kind of explain the demo a little bit, and we have a little game that we're going to be doing. He'll be helping with that. So Everett this is his second year with us, and he's my research assistant. He's kind of like my right-hand man. He helps with everything from trial design, setup, seeding, harvest, data collection, data analysis. So really glad to have him, and we're hoping to keep him on even a bit longer if we can. So so he will be helping with a little game that we're doing just to prime you guys. So we need 4 people per crop in this game. So get your brave pants on and try to participate. It'd be great. And if you guys have any questions or want to heckle me as I'm going, feel free. I want this to be a discussion and kind of get our thoughts flowing here. So we're going to start off with some lame references. So I hope you guys like those. So welcome to the herbicide matrix, where we're about to reveal a hard truth. You've been living in a world of single mode of action illusions. Today, we'll show you how to dodge bullets like glyphosate-resistant kochia by layering herbicides, like Neo layers his trench coat with badass weapons. Because in the fight against weeds, there is no spoon, just solid science. And with this demo here, it's just one of many that we have set up over the next couple days. And that's in collaboration with other speakers, not just Farming Smarter persons. So for example, we have that salinity demo, can't remember if it's today or tomorrow, but with Ken Wall from Federated Co-op out of Saskatoon. And we'd like to give a huge shout out to Ardar for their support and funding for these demonstrations that we've set up. So any costs that went into these, they covered those, which is amazing. So we're grateful for that. And with this demonstration here, we set it up to showcase herbicide application timings and removal of weeds at different stages, along with herbicide efficacy in relation to single and combined active ingredients. And herbicide layering is one of the key concepts of this demo. And herbicide layering can be defined as a weed management strategy that involves applying multiple herbicides with different modes of actions at different times during the growing season to improve weed control and reduce risk of herbicide resistance. And I would say, keeping in mind the ultimate goal is to give your crop the best fighting chance against those weeds and to do the best possible. Herbicide layering is about stacking your defenses so weeds can't take hold of your crop's reality and never wake up to resistance. Let's unplug from old habits and read the code hidden in our demo. So, no one's really laughing at those, but I am. That's what matters, right? Anyways, let's get into a couple questions and kind of get your guys' feedback. Who here has a herbicide layering program, as I've kind of defined? Throw your hands up, wicked. Is that old news, or is that old news being brought back into new news by us young guys? What do you guys think? Shout out. You're nodding. Kind of old news, kind of coming back though. So you've been kind of same story, yeah, with the active ingredients. Like companies are starting to repurpose them or go backwards and dig into their old buckets of active ingredients. Yeah, for sure.
Some of us have learned from the initial group 1.
Yeah, hey.
Issues we've had and stuff. So how do we, start approaching that with?
So the comment was some of those first group 1 resistant plants and populations kind of really sparked that that initial looking into rotating herbicides and then thinking about these things. That's awesome. Yeah, and I think it still seems relevant, hey? Still a problem, still something we got to figure out. That's good. So we'll try to maybe get into some options or some thoughts that I have, some ideas going forward on how we can kind of create those programs and think about those. And why do you practice herbicide layering? What's some of the key reasons? Weed resistance?
Trying to keep the initial seed bank or the spring population.
Trying to keep that initial spring flush down? Hit them hard? Anyone else? Yeah, I would say, I kind of alluded to it, give your crop the best chance possible. Use all the tools in the toolbox, so not just keep using the same active over and over, but use other products as well. There's probably more there too, but if you guys have any ideas, or maybe we'll come across some of those as well. What are some of the major hurdles to implementing a herbicide layering program, or just using herbicides in general?
I think dealing with and managing residue, and then with some of these actives in these dryland scenarios, can be challenging with moisture, lack thereof, and then trying to get the timing to work around that.
So there was 3 things there. Make sure I get all of those. So one was managing trash, residue.
Yep.
So that you can actually get your residuals, I'm assuming, on the soil and get activated. And then the second one, well, one of yours was timing, so hitting those weeds and actually killing them at the right time.
Making sure you're not restricting your recropping restrictions.
That's perfect. Yeah, looking at your recropping restrictions, so you're going to impact maybe a lentils in the following year with sulfentrazone, for example, if it's been a dry year. That's awesome. Tank mix compatibility, exactly right. So are you actually using something off label that you maybe shouldn't be, and is that risky for just tank mixing or antagonism or whatever? Or do you have to go out and do 2 passes or 3 passes, right? And then that's an extra cost as well. I think all really good ideas. Yeah, really good thoughts.
I think there's one other one, maybe the elephant in the room. And I don't want to offend anybody, but I honestly think it's overpromised, underdelivered by chemical companies. So there's that when we come out lately with 27s. It's the latest, greatest thing, and everybody's advertising, pushing it hard and stuff. So everybody's making the switch because the quick answer. People then kind of stop a little bit to start using this on a more regular basis until it's too late before we quit. So I think there's some issues that way too.
So some over-promising from the sales guys. You gotta. Yeah, you guys are. I think farmers are bombarded, right, by so many different products, and I think we kind of run into the same thing. And I think that'll come up with the demo and how we set it up too. Like, yeah, you have so many product options, and it gets confusing sometimes, or over-promised.
But you take a look at the groups they just push it.
What was that comment? Sorry.
The horse is out of the barn on a lot of this stuff too. Like say, yeah, you should be putting on Avidexes and spraying your crops for wild oats. That's a layering strategy. Chances are a lot of your crop stuff's already resistant. So you're actually just putting on Avidex.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you were saying using Avidex with an in-crop, but maybe that just the Avidex is working because your in-crop is your weeds are maybe resistant already. So whatever you're using might not be working. I think that's an interesting point too. Cool. Yeah, lots of really good things. Awesome. So now I'm going to pass it over to Everett, and he is going to help us download the details of the demo. We got to get into the matrix, get some downloads so we can exit. Perfect.
All right. So today for this demo, we set it up kind of to have 3 crops, 3 of the pretty common crops here in southern Alberta. We've got canola, that's a dual trait canola this time around, peas and wheat at the back there. And for each one of these crops, we have done 6 different treatments with all different types of herbicides and different layerings of those herbicides at different timings. Our treatment types for this time around, we have a pre-seed burn down that has 1 herbicide with no residuals. We have a pre-seed burn down with 3 to 4 herbicides with residual activity in them. A single crop with a single crop herbicide in crop. 2 in crop timings, one early and one late, with 1 or 2 herbicides depending on the crop. We have a pre-seed with 1 non-residual burn down and a single in-crop burn down or herbicide. And then for our last treatment, we went with everything. So a pre-seed burn down with residuals and 2 in-crop timings, 1 early and 1 late. When we did our burn downs, we tried to do it after they'd already come up a little bit, so we had a nice burn down. We knew we killed some things when they popped up. And then when we went our in-crop timings, we kind of waited for them to hit a certain height, and we, as you guys probably know, how to hit those crops already. So, as you can take a look out at our trial here today, you can kind of see the different effects that they have, and each one is slightly a little bit different. But one thing you'll notice is we don't have any labels on them today. But very conveniently, we've got labels right here. Ooh, now all we need is teams of 4 to help put them out.
So if I
Anybody
get a team of
confident?
4 here, and then in the peas and the wheat.
Anyone confident in their herbicide applications that think they can figure out what's which? There will be prizes for the winning team.
And bragging rights too.
And bragging rights as well, too.
The wheat's probably the easiest.
Well, there you go.
Quick.
So just go on over to your favorite crop, get lined up, grab some steaks, and
Yummy.
then we can put them out.
Yummy, come on.
We're going to have to start picking
Bring
people out
someone
if we
with
don't
ya.
have enough. Alrighty.
I need 3 more people.
We got our peas.
Come right over to
Looks like we got our pea team filled up. We've got some space at the wheat at the back there.
Trevor.
Okay.
We need 2 more people over here for the canola, and we need 3 more people at the back for the wheat. Who's feeling brave?
Come on, Ryan.
Get out there, Ryan.
Come on. You look like you know what you're doing. All right, you guys
Okay,
have
wicked.
it over there. And we got our 4 team right here. All right.
Are you joining in, Yummy? Okay.
You guys
Oh,
want to
come
head to
on.
the
It's easy. I'll help you.
wheat at the back there?
Oh, okay.
Help them out.
Okay. Okay, let's go watch 3 then. If someone else wants to join us, come on. Okay, so we have just like
Alrighty.
a description of the timing and the amount of herbicide. that's
So
used.
for each one of these
So
ones
we're
out
trying
here,
to
we
look at
have
the
on
controls.
each label we have a little bit of a description of what it is.
What you think.
Like I had said on the
So,
first
like,
page
for
here,
example,
you got your
second
pre-seed
piece,
burn down,
single
no
crop,
residuals, with residuals,
but
the in-crop timings, all those.
'cause
And then also you can notice some 2 blue stakes we have set up on each rep. Those ones are some untreated checks that were kind of used to help people kind of reference what it would look like without any sort of
and so
treatments
don't
at
worry
all.
about this one,
Help
this
them
one's just
calibrate a little bit,
order,
figure
but
out
the
how
rest
it
should be
kind of
6 here.
interacted with the stuff. You guys can feel free to also like do this as well. Try to figure out which ones are which.
Right
If you
at the
want,
front there.
you got your little reference sheet down here.
I'll just
I was trying to think. One thing we want to think about when we're trying to figure out which one is which too is how clean it is. Obviously, is one point. How big the weeds are. What ones might be new growth and what ones could be old growth that didn't get fully killed out. Some little hints for those.
We only got 1 minute.
We had to shorten the timer this time around. It took too long last time. Let's see how people are doing.
yeah, I'm right here.
What are you guys' thought processes going into this? What are you looking for?
Trying to figure out.
Yep.
Is the single crop one number 6?
Yeah, sure. No.
That's good thoughts going into
Or
it.
is it number 6?
Thinking about what old growth and what's new growth.
Potentially.
Really good ways to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like looking.
You guys only have about a minute,
I
so
like your thought pattern there, though. Like your thought pattern.
I don't know about that.
What is your thought pattern there? Could it be?
That
That
it
it should
has
be
the
pretty
most
dirty?
weeds.
Yeah.
Two
What are you guys' thought processes on what you?
Okay, you only got 3 seconds. 1. You guys gotta put some of them down. It's okay if you're wrong. Just throw them down. We gotta.
All right,
I'll give you guys.
a 5-second countdown before our pencils down. 5,
Oh yeah, no, don't worry about
4,
this one. That one
3,
wasn't treated.
2,
Go.
1. All right,
even throw 'em
stakes
in, just
down.
throw
Put
'em
them on
down
your
by-
rest. Put them down.
Throw them down where you think.
Yeah, we took too much time.
It's all good. It's all good.
I was very close.
Now we'll have our lovely volunteers going and putting out the correct answers. Here quickly. You can take a quick look at what you guys have put in. So let's find one here. So our canola team up front here. Where's our canola team?
We're still going.
They're still placing some down. Oh.
Sorry.
All right, then we might as well
We
let
got
the
one
teams
right
put
so
down
far.
their final ones. No, don't worry. So, our P team over here. Why did you guys choose to do the 2 in-crop timings in this one? This one was right.
Yeah.
So what was the tip off? So we didn't use zone in there, but hey, it worked. It works.
This one is a. Is that individual?
Oh, benzozone. Sorry.
Viper, yeah, that's Viper, that's kind of a Viper. It's not very great on kochia, but it's sort of interesting. Yeah, depending on.
This one for our second in-crop timing would have been sprayed. It would have been sprayed in June.
So this is kind of.
Okay, let's do a count. Who won? We got 2 again.
We got 2.
All right,
What did the wheat
all
get?
2.
How many did the wheat get right?
Levi, what did you get right, or how many? 4 right on the wheat.
Oh,
So wheat won.
won again.
So we'll bring everybody back to the front side here. We'll talk a little bit about our choices, why we made them,
We got prizes up at the front here
and
too.
surprises. So our wheat team, you can come over and see Trevor. He'll give you some lovely shoe horns, nice and sturdy metal shoe horns, used for a variety of different things.
We only have like 5 minutes left, so we gotta just like quickly wrap up. And then I just quickly move on.
So I'll quickly run over which ones are which. We have the same treatments along each one.
You probably have 5 of these.
On the sides there. So for this one over here, this was our everything treatment. We had our full burn down with residuals and our 2 in-crop timings. This one to my left here was a single burn down without residuals and 1 in-crop timing and an early timing. The next one over was our 2 in-crops, 1 early and 1 late. The third one down there was a single in-crop timing. The one second from the end was just a burn down with some residual chem. And the last one on the very end was just a single burn down. Now I'm going to pass it back over to Trevor. He's going to give a little bit of a rundown of some of what we found, of why it looks like it does, and yeah, some more concepts.
Thanks, Everett. Yeah, I think this canola was pretty tough because this was a dual gene canola. So it's the Liberty and the Roundup. And I think we did actually pretty good with the Roundup. I was expecting to see a little more kochia resistance than I did. But if I was looking at just the glyphosate only there, I would say we have like 80 to 90% susceptible population on that Roundup or on that kochia. So I think there's probably a couple things going on there. Either we're doing a better job at eradicating that susceptible population, or maybe we did good with the glyphosate at the right timing. Maybe those plants were small and they were just susceptible to the rate we used. We just used a normal standard rate of that glyphosate. So that was kind of interesting. Did anyone see the volunteer wheat in the wheat there? That was also something that was interesting that came up. Maybe obvious, but without that burn down, we weren't able to kill that volunteer wheat. And now it's a huge problem in the wheat there. And I think that was kind of common in all the crops. Anything with the residual and the burn down actually worked really good. And I think partly that was because our weeds were emerged. We had hand seeded some of the weeds in here and had this trial set up in like the mid-April, and then by the time we did our first application on May 16th, right before seeding, those weeds were emerged, they were looking good, So we got a good burn down. And then our in-crop just helped with that. And so I think once we get to this like everything treatment, I think we're doing way too much there. We probably didn't need to. I think this treatment here, treatment 5, was doing really good. And I think the key takeaway is getting that good burn down with a residual and at least one in-crop chemical is actually not too bad. And the cost on that isn't too bad either. You'll see in your handout, I did some average pricing for some of the chem, and so you can kind of do some cost comparison on just the herbicide cost. So I think that's kind of the best bet. And if you add something extra in there, like on the peas, I think it's a good example of, well, I think there honestly was actually, we like tripled up on some of the active ingredients there. And I think it was the Amazamox on that we kind of tripled up there. And I think one thing, if you're thinking about herbicide layering, is think about your active ingredients. There's so many products out there, and I think what happened with the peas in particular was we reverted back to old habits and we were thinking about product names. And we know kind of what products are working around here for us and they're our go-to, but we should have been thinking about our active ingredients too and trying to rotate those and use different ones, especially with the kochia there. When we sprayed those in crop, those kochia were maybe big. They weren't susceptible to those, I think, like group 2s there. We used Odyssey and Quasar just as an example there, but obviously something to consider. And I think those are some of the key takeaways. Yeah, and I think just some ideas going forward would be, and I think that some things that we learned even setting up this demo, which was awesome, is planning ahead. Especially with what we do, we have like 17 different crops that we grow on the farm here in our research trials. And it gets complicated to think about all the different programs that we could have, all the chemical names and active ingredients. So we have started planning ahead a bit more on those products, but I think in spirit of the reference for the matrix that I've been using, I think setting up like a herbicide layering matrix program could be a useful tool. So listing out our crops in the rotation, listing out all the groups and active ingredients, and even if it was just a simple checkbox of like, okay, in the first year with our wheat, we're going to use these products for our burn down and our residual and our in crop, and these are the groups. And so then when we come back in the 4th year back on wheat, I'm not going to use any of those products and hopefully any of those active ingredients. And then what you could have a brand new program for your wheat in year 4, and then back in year 7, you could have the exact same program that you had in year 1 with your wheat, right? So now you have that like 6 or 7 year gap in between using one set of herbicides for one program. And then you're making sure that you're not overlapping those active ingredients and increasing your resistance. So you're trying to decrease that resistance as much as possible. And use all the tools in the toolbox, right? I don't think we used any MCPA or 2,4-D or heat in here. Again, I revert back to product names on some of those, but there's so many other active ingredients that we could have thought about and listed out. And I think trying to do the best job possible and planning ahead is a good thing. Yeah. Does anyone have something like that? I think even AI could help. But does anyone have just like an Excel sheet with something like that they're already using, or is it pen and paper? Anyone want to?
Just dye in the colors of your different residuals all the time.
Yeah, and is that more just year to year, or are you guys trying to think about that full crop rotation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with growing a lot of lentils, you got to be careful about lots of stuff. So.
Totally. And that's where it kind of gets complex, right? And that whole matrix idea of depends on the crops, right? If you have hemp or corn, or there's so many other different crops you have to think about too, right? So perfect. I think we're out of time. And hopefully we've kind of covered some of those key concepts, and hopefully you guys have learned something. My final reference is Agent Smith was wrong. It's not humanity that's the virus, it's weeds. And today, I hope you've learned something that you can use and take back to fight back against these weeds and escape the herbicide matrix. And once again, we just want to thank Ardar for their huge support of this demonstration and all the other ones there. So, thanks a lot, everyone.